6 years or so ago, 7 years, I started noticing a tremor in my left hand. And I thought it was a muscular thing. I've been exercising, doing yoga and Pilates, and I've hiked forever. So I was in pretty good shape, but that tremor got worse. And finally, we decided to get it checked out. My doctor said he thought I might have Parkinson's.
When I was first diagnosed, I kind of sat in the car by myself and I was kind of depressed a little bit. But I said, I can't let that continue. You know, you got to make the best of this disease.
I was always wanting to do the handyman projects around the house. And my honey-do list was always 50 items deep. And so as I want to do those things around the house, an example, I can't get up on a ladder. And even walking in the house sometimes, if I get up too quick, I get dizzy. And the risk of falling is there, so I got to be cognizant of that.
There were certain things I had difficulty doing in the classroom. For example, giving tests back to the kids. I couldn't separate the papers in order to hand them back. And I didn't want to just give them to another student so they saw everybody's grades. So that took a little while. My memory was not as good as it was. Up until the last year that I taught, I can remember the kid's name after the first week or so. And I had 6 classes that I taught with up to 29 kids in a class. But the last year, I couldn't remember the names.
2 guys who were friends of my husband's had Parkinson's, one in Maine and another one out in Nevada. And both of them encouraged me to try rock-steady boxing. And I thought, boxing? That's for guys.
Hi, I'm Janice Moya, and I'm owner of Advanced Fitness, and we sponsor the Rock Steady Boxing program. Rock Steady Boxing is a program designed specifically for people with Parkinson's disease. When they come here, they hit heavy bags, speed bags, double end bags, and then once we're done with all the boxing things, we take our gloves off and we do a circuit. And in that circuit, they'll do things like balance activities, strengthening activities. We use the TRXs, we use ropes, we work on core, we work on ladders for agility. We do things that they have to do with their hands. And we just try to incorporate everything we can do to help facilitate them to be able to do everything they can do outside of here. It's so important because what happens to their bodies with the disease is they start to deteriorate and the muscles start to go away pretty quickly. So we try to replicate things that like getting in and out of a car. We do things with our eyes closed and open to take away those things for balancing, to help them be able to, if they start to fall at home, they are able to correct that fall and keep themselves upright. So sometimes people, when they come in, they're angry. They're mad at the world. They're just don't think that anything's going to help them. They have pretty much are being brought in by a family member, like someone that's heard about the program, and they don't want to be there.
I was afraid to go to a group of people with Parkinson's because I was young when I got it. I thought I was still in decent shape, and I was afraid to see what it looked like in the later stages.
When people walk in here, they're afraid. They're afraid of their diagnosis and they're afraid of what their outcome's gonna be. I've seen big, strong men, I've seen women that have successful careers and they come in here and they're afraid. And they learn that they are strong and that disease is not the end of their life. And they fight back. That's what Rock Steady Boxing is all about. It's about fighting against Parkinson's.
Well, Janice is a pretty tough cookie on the outside, but she's got a marshmallow interior.
Janice, she's a lot of fun. I think that she makes it very fun for everybody that's here. They enjoy coming, and she can be tough at times, but she's also very, very kind. I don't know if she told you that her father had Parkinson's.
My dad was diagnosed with Parkinson's a year after my mother passed away. We had noticed some symptoms. I wasn't in the field yet, so I didn't know, what they meant. He was doing the pill rolling, what they call with his fingers when he'd sit and watch TV. No arm swing, a blank stare on his face. But we weren't familiar with Parkinson's, so we didn't know what was going on. So when he was finally diagnosed, he was in his late 50s, almost 60. And his decline went a little faster than a normal Parkinson's. He spent a lot of time up in attics. He was a telephone man, so telephone repairman up in New Jersey, and he spent a lot of time in attics, so they think he most likely had some kind of cancer in his brain, asbestos poisoning, something like that. So his brain was deteriorating a little faster than the normal Parkinson's. But I know my dad, and to the last minute of his life, he was making jokes until he couldn't speak anymore, which was in the last couple minutes of his life. And he would have been so much more active in his life because he became reclusive because his handshakes, and he didn't want to eat in front of people, and he just declined really quickly, unfortunately.
It's the motion with me. Not everybody has tremors, but a lot of us have tremors, and that's a nuisance when you're trying to read a newspaper and your hands are moving.
So Parkinson's is so different between one person to the next person to the next person. So you can't look at one person and go, oh, this is going to happen to them next. And there's like a line of what's next, because it could never happen to them.
My throat has a scratchiness to it now my voice does that it didn't have before. And that's related to Parkinson's. And it affects swallowing too.
I've watched people come into this gym and learn how to enunciate their words. I've watched them balance their bodies and not fall anymore. I've watched them get stronger every class they come to. Their punches are harder. They stand taller. They're proud of what they do. It's changing their life just by moving their body. It's incredible.
I would not have the strength or the desire or the will to continue living, if you want to put it bluntly, without something to draw on, and that something is definitely rock steady boxing.
Well, Janice can tell you that if I miss boxing for a week or two, I'm not the same when I come back. I can't punch the way I was. I have difficulty sleeping. So this program's helped me a great deal. Without it, I don't know where I'd be at this point.
People are nicer than I would have given them credit for. I sometimes, in answering questions or trying to explain something, I'll get forgetful, or I'll stop what I'm trying to say. and I'll explain to strangers, excuse me, I freeze sometimes because I have Parkinson's. People are so accommodating. It's reassuring. People are kind. And I think it's something that I didn't realize before.
The team that we develop in here, we're all special needs at different levels of requirements, but we support one another, we encourage one another, we draw on one another for our strength. That strength is very important to us.
You know, I just enjoy talking to people and letting them know, hey, you can get through this. It's not as bad as you think. It could be frustrating at times and depressing at times, but you can't stay depressed about it. So that's what I kind of try to help people understand, that it's a livable disease.
And the boxing part of it is, it's fun. And I had no boxing experience. I promise you, I had none. And my then 12-year-old grandson, who'd been taking martial arts for years, taught me in my den how to do the different punches. And he's still proud of that. We still go at it sometimes.
When I first started Rocksteady Boxing, I thought it was going to just be something fun, you know, something to do. But when I started to see how much it changed people's lives is when I thought, wow, this is really empowering to do something like this. And it just made me want to reach out more and more and more to the community and to doctors and say, look at what happens to these people when they come here and how much it changes their lives and how much better they feel just overall, you know, the depression and just being able to do things they couldn't do before, family outings and going out to dinner again. And it just was unbelievable, the impact that I felt to help these people even more, as much more as I could.
The road that you're going to be walking down is full of unknowns, and don't be afraid of those unknowns. Look at them as challenges that you can beat and overcome.
Hey, you Parkies, what do you say?
Hey, you Parkies, what do you say?
Glad to be back in the gym today.
Glad to be back in the gym today.
With Ashley and Janice and Faith indeed.
Ashley and Janice and Faith indeed.
Rocksteady Boxing is what I need.
Rocksteady Boxing is what I need.